Hey, yo, 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 this is Pharoahe Monch live in Amsterdam right now, and you are locked into Toasted.
The situation in like in America, especially for you as a black American, like nowadays we see like in Baltimore we see it like people get choked out by the police. Has something really changed in the last like 30 years, 20 years?
I think that because of social media, there's more awareness of incidents that would have stayed local and people would have never became abreast of. So, social media has changed a lot of the incidents where you see in smaller cities where probably me in New York would have never heard about the situation in St. Louis, even in Ferguson, if not for social media and people sharing and the camera phones and everything is being filmed. So I think that puts the spotlight on all of us to be more responsible. And when I say responsibility, I'm talking about in terms of now that it's clear that these issues still exist, it's everyone who has a heart or love, it's their responsibility to share in changing the wave of this. Because if you allow an unjust thing to happen to an Asian, a Mexican, a gay person, or whatever, it affects the whole of the planet. And this is education that's just not taught, and it's stunted, and people don't understand how we all affect each other. But when you travel the world and you could look at America from the Netherlands, you could look at America from the UK, and in Africa, you can kind of see the intrinsic value of what we all mean to each other. Even though different governments, we all mean a lot to each other. And so we have to step in and at least voice an opinion on what's happening.
I read that you worked on a rock-inspired new album. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm working on it right now. It's super intense. It's headbanger. It's aggressive. It's hardcore. It's a lot of energy. It's gonna take a lot of energy from me to perform this record. That's why I'm drinking green juice and I'm trying to change my lifestyle. And it's something I've been wanting to do for quite some time now. So yeah, it's coming out really, 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 really dope. It's in the demo stage, but I don't want to mention any players. It's gonna be a band as well. It's not just gonna be me saying it feels like this, and it's usually what someone else would do. I want to do the full spectrum. So yeah.
Why rock? I know you're a big Zeppelin, Sabbath, Rush fan.
I think it's the energy that's needed right now, and I see a lot of the young kids who are getting into hip hop love the energy of trap music.
Yeah.
And this is some of that same energy. It's just more suited for me and what I know. And it's stadium, it's mosh pit, it's all of those things. It's intellectual still, but the energy is a little different.
I also read that instead of saying it in your own voice, a character named 13 is going to be the main one. I know you used 13 back in the Organized Confusion days. What is special about 13? Normally people see it as a bad luck.
It's just such a fly, dope number to me, and the fact that I see it that way is probably what makes me crazy. My company is called Triskaidekaphobia, which is fear of the number 13.
Oh, wow.
And I know people see it that way, but it's always been a sports number to me. It's been there throughout my life.
A sports number?
Just certain basketball players, Ray Williams, Dan Marino, Will Chamberlain, different players wore 13 and always liked that number. And, my high school basketball team, I had 13, and, I just like the number. It's weird, and it is, it's rock to me, 13. But 13, it allows me to evolve into some emotions that I normally wouldn't, and say shit that I normally wouldn't.
You feel you have still have it still hold back when you rap it?
Sometimes, because I'm an empath and I feel different things, so I try to keep different things in mind. You know, when you hear that inner thing, that's like 13 speaking. So throughout my albums, when you hear that sort of darkness, that's like 13. This album is like going to be a full out spectrum of what a 13 album would be.
Should we see it as like an alter ego of you?
Definitely. It definitely goes more back towards internal affairs, but I think it may be even harder than internal affairs.
Is Vernon Reid gonna be a part of it? Because I know you're not gonna name any names, but you've worked with him in the past. He's a phenomenal guitar player.
His work he did with me and Immortal Technique on the War album and on the War song, I'm still trying to understand what he played, which is what Layers is all about. That solo spoke to me so much. And then his work on Stand Your Ground. And we're cool, you know, I go to their shows, I go to his shows, and we talk outside of music, so it's just a relationship there, and I'm sure we'll be working on this project as well.
How did you first connect with him?
My manager used to run with those guys and work with them and knows them and just put me in contact with them.
And you was always big on Living Color?
Yeah, definitely, man. Corey Glover, just amazing.
I want to talk about a hero of yours, Eugene McDaniels. I find it funny, I saw you with a Rolling Stones t-shirt on, but he got the song Jagger Dagger, and I heard it was like a diss song to Mick Jagger back in the days.
Wow. See, that's what I love about Eugene McDaniels. He was right on that cutting edge of the political, and you listen to some of those songs, it sounds like the Large Professor or Pete Rock programmed the drums, and you know, I'm like, is this real? Did a drummer keep this timing in the studio? You know what I mean? Like, so when I heard that album, it felt like this dude is an MC, like a hardcore MC, and I'm just like, damn, you know. And then the vocals, I love his singing. I try to evoke those same emotions, and he went there with vocal tone the same way Coltrane would play out, and so I try to incorporate that into the thinking. I'm not as good as that, but I think about it. The fact that you told me that story is not unlikely of something that he probably did on purpose.
All right, my last question. Could you name your 3 favorite books?
The last couple of years, I tried to read everything Octavia Butler because I'm a sci-fi buff. She was a black writer, and it just touched my soul. It's how I write, you know, how I think too. And she was very inspiring towards the War album and PTSD for that matter. You know, everything Octavia Butler, I would say.